So we're going to close out the weekend by doing the final mission in the original Halo trilogy, that being the Maw, the Great Journey, and of course Halo. And we're just going to run through them, see how each one performed as a closing level, and just kind of enjoy a nice little trip down memory lane before Monday kicks off and we all get to enjoy going back to work and grinding away for a couple days. So of course, we're just going to go right in order. We're starting off with the Maw from Halo 1. Personally, for me, this is going to be my favorite. Just the idea of everything that's kind of going on. We know that the Flood is very much essentially kind of winning the battle of the Halo ring, and humanity is pretty much all but gone. I know if you read the book, it does say that there are kind of a few bands of Marine survivors that are still around. I believe they were actually trying to hijack a Covenant ship to flee. But really, other than that, Chief hasn't got to work with any humans since, honestly, the mission 343 Guilty Spark.
We need to get to the bridge.
And, of course, the Covenant's ramping stuff up, but it really does do a good job of kind of creating that nice little atmosphere of, you know, hey, we are on our last legs here and we got to come up with something to figure this out. No plan for Halo 2, anything like that. As far as Bungie knew at this point, it was just going to kind of be a one and done kind of ordeal. I will say, once we kind of get to the ending cutscene, they did do a really good job of kind of wrapping it up, but also left us hungry for, you know, potential inclusions into the story, which, of course, we got. But really, it was all thanks to this great game, and let's be honest, that final Warthog run here, it's just iconic for a reason. Say we're gonna let the Flood do a little combat there. Covenant hopefully take out a couple of them for us. Spec Ops elites in here, so ones with the black armor. Definitely, in my opinion, the deadliest elites out of Halo 1.
Let's get to work.
It's kind of glad to see that little frag there take them out. I believe we got one of the other Spec Ops grunts there. We did not, but we're going to back up just because that fuel rod cannon explodes. Okay, I was kind of counting on that blowing up a couple. Oh, there we go. Surprisingly, did not destroy any of the grenades on the ground. But for those of you that don't remember, Halo 1, you actually could not use the fuel rod cannon. It was programmed that whenever you would kill a grunt that was carrying it, which grunts were the only enemy that did carry it, other than, of course, the hunters as well, but it was programmed to self-destruct. So it wasn't actually until Halo PC came out that the original Halo 1 fuel rod cannon was able to be used. But even then, it was only in multiplayer. Campaign, it was still set to self-destruct.
You can't imagine how exciting this is to have a record of all of our lost time. Human history, is it? Fascinating.
What's interesting is that was a pretty big, I don't know if you want to call it sneak peek, but
I will enjoy every moment of its
a little bit of a
categorization.
teaser that originally the Forerunners were meant to be human. They weren't actually their own separate species.
I am shocked. Almost too shocked for words.
He stopped the self-destruct sequence.
Why do you continue to fight us, Reclaimer? You cannot
But-
win. Give us the
Yeah, so
construct,
something else
and I
just
will
to kind of
endeavor
throw out
to
on the
make
topic
your
of Halo
relatively
1 PC.
At least I still have
The
control over
version
comm
of
channels.
Halo 1 that we have in the Master Chief Collection, this is actually the same version as
He's an engineer.
Halo Combat
He must be
Evolved
trying to
on
take
the
core
PC.
offline. Even if I could get the countdown restarted.
So I don't think there's really much
I
that
don't know.
changes in the campaign. I think there's maybe some damage values that were slightly adjusted.
Not much. A well-placed grenade, perhaps, but why?
But just like Cortana said, though, not much.
Okay, I'm coming with you.
And also, if you were to skip this cutscene, that little display box right there will actually stay intact and you can use that in cover. But if you let the cutscene play through, as you can tell right there, it will actually disappear. Not that we really need to kill these sentinels, but why leave them
The
around?
ship was heavily damaged when it crashed. Head to the cryo chamber. We should be able to get to the engine room through there.
There will just never be another Halo 1 shotgun. It's just so good. I was kind of hoping that we could put our boy there, kind of. I figured there might have been a few explosives on the floor. That was just a bad call. But again, there's just something about the Halo 1 pistol that it's too good. But the fact that you can one-shot hunters with it, even on Legendary, and that they kept that in, even on PC and with the Master Chief Collection, I'm actually really glad that they did that. I just think it's one of those quirks that made Halo 1 just so good. Now, whenever I would play this game on Legendary, for some reason, this little section here is always the part that kind of screwed me over. Which, actually, that's probably the smoothest I've ever been able to get through there. I don't know if there is a definitive, like, infinite hard spawn right there, but at least whenever I would play this on Legendary, it kind of felt like if you didn't hurry up and really try to push your advance, there was a good chance that enemies would just, at least maybe it would feel like they would spawn there indefinitely. Just let the hunter advance up just a little bit. Get that real easy body shot on him. That should have done a decent bit of damage to Buddy right here. Apparently not enough. And just another little interesting tidbit here, so most of the time if you hurry up and grab everything, you can run back out, and you won't actually get to see, but inside this little room here, if you wait a little while, it's the only time that you'll see a flood with active camo appear through, so we'll see if we can have them show up. I don't know if it's just you have to be back so far. Oh, there we go. Okay, the door did open. It's just kind of a little thing where if you were putzing around, enemies would eventually just spawn in here with you, which was honestly totally fine. There's nothing really exciting in this room. But I mean, for most people who have played this game before, really you just run in there, grab the rocket launcher, and then run back out. In fact, I think if it wasn't for
Engine room located. We're here.
one of my early playthroughs with my cousins, I think when we were trying to set up our loadouts to try and cover as many situations as possible, that was really the first time we ever figured out that if you were in there for too long, you would have those active camo floods spawning. That's the only time it appears in Halo 1. I'm trying to think offhand if we see any other flood without, or flood with active camo.
We have a straight shot into the fusion reactor. We need a catalyst explosion to destabilize the magnetic containment field surrounding the fusion cells. Use an explosive. I recommend a grenade or rocket. If you run out of explosives, there is an armory station located near the engine room's entrance. Analyzing. Fusion reactor number 1 destabilizing. Use explosives on the other 3 reactors. That should be enough to trigger a wildcat explosion of the engines.
If you had 2 players, it was always nice because you could just have somebody open up one of the exhaust couplings. You could run through this extremely quickly.
Keep it up. Only one more.
And then also if you crouch jump, that would actually give you just enough momentum where you could actually get in right there. And you could also use a grenade as well. That part has always been really simple once you just learn some of the basic tips and tricks to it. Because the Sentinels and Flood will kind of indefinitely spawn.
We should have 15 minutes to get off the ship. We don't have much time. We should move outside and signal for evac. Accessing schematics. There's a service lift at the top of the engine room. It leads to a Class 7 service corridor that runs along the ship's dorsal structure. Hurry!
Up to the infamous... I really should say infamous, because that implies a certain level of negativity, but the famous Warthog run here. And we'll just wait for that to go off. Okay. Could tell you how many times I fired a rocket in there, and just that fuel rod cannon goes flying forward, and all the little grenades on the ground decide to go off. Then you end up dying.
Cortana to Echo 419. Come in, Echo 419. Roger, Cortana. I read you. 555. The Pillar of Autumn's engines are going critical, Fohammer. Request immediate extraction. Approach the crash site and be ready to pick us up at External Access Junction 4C as soon as you get my signal. Affirmative. Echo 419 going on station. Echo 419 to Cortana. Things are getting noisy down there. Everything okay? Negative. We have a wildcat destabilization of the ship's fusion core. The engines must have sustained...
And let's hope luck is on our side for this one, because there is some random jank that occurs in Halo 1 anytime you hop in a vehicle. Hopefully we just got all the negative stuff out of the way there bright and early. Now there was an achievement released whenever Halo 1 Anniversary dropped, where you actually did get an achievement if you were able to keep the Warthog upright for the entire Warthog run here, which, as you can tell, was kind of easier said than done. The Sentinel views just really tore us up right there. That's okay, though. We don't really need a whole lot of health where we're going. That was always kind of one of the downsides, was just small little moments like that where, you know, you just hit a jump slightly wrong and all of a sudden surrender all hope. And of course, also, if you are doing this on Legendary, you only have 5 minutes to complete this little run here instead of 6, which honestly is pretty fair amount of time, I would say.
Cortana to Echo 419. Request extraction now on the double.
So usually whenever I would run it on Legendary, always had at least, I would say, 45 seconds to 55 remaining.
Wait, stop.
And a lot of
This is where
times the only
Bowhammer is
reason
coming
I'd
to pick us
lose
up.
time
Hold
was
position
just
here.
because of those random ejections that would occur.
Cortana to Echo 419. 2 Covenant Banshees are approaching on your 6. Evade. Say again, evade.
R.I.P. to Bowhammer. Such a classic character there. Also, very interesting thing, the
Echo
Banshees,
419.
their tops are open,
She's gone.
I think,
Calculating alternate
but you can
escape
still
routes.
see the elites that are inside.
One longsword fighter is still docked in Launch Bay 7. If we move now, we can make it.
I think that little section there, I don't know how well it's going to come through on the recording, but right whenever Bowhammer dies and Cortana's figuring out a backup plan, just the way that the soundtrack kicks in to kind of give you that little bit of motivation and to really kind of help show that the stakes have yet again been further raised. I mean, it's a genius thing. The music team with this era of Bungie was just phenomenal.
There's a gap in the trench. At top speed, we should be able to clear it.
It's actually one of the reasons why I really appreciated Doom 2016 with Mick Gordon, the way that he was able to use music to really kind of help progress the gameplay along, and even some of the storytelling elements. It's like, you know, if you were engaged in combat, music would kick up a little bit.
That's the ship. Move! We need to get aboard now!
And I always would just run off to the left here, because most of the time you really only maybe have 1 or 2 enemies. Everybody else is in the middle fighting, so if we were running this on Legendary, we would have had about 54 seconds to spare. And there we go, there's the Maw done. It's pretty straightforward, but it's just so fun to play through. And that last little Warthog section, especially in a first-person shooter, that's not how I ever expected the mission to go, but
Here we
they
go.
did so good with it. So there's Halo 1 complete. And again, you know, they were definitely limited in resources and technology at the time, but even just how they shot that one scene there where you can see maybe about like 15 or so flood. It still did a really good job for 2001 conveying that, like,
Shut them down.
there's
Leave
a
them later.
massive flood army, you know, moving in on the Pillar of Autumn.
Fancy a look?
Did anyone else make it?
Scanning. Just dust and echoes.
Dust and echoes.
They're all
We better
messed
go
up.
the fuck back for him.
We did what we had to do. For Earth. An entire Covenant armada obliterated, and the Flood. We had no choice. Halo. It's finished.
No. I think we're just getting started.
So, interestingly enough, in this little scene, when people were able to kind of go back and go into freeform camera, when Chief takes off his helmet, he's actually wearing another helmet. Which that's something that, honestly, I hope they never do give, like, a big face reveal. I know we kind of got one in Halo 4 with the Chief, but I kind of like that almost Ghost in the Shell, little bit of a blank slate that's at least remaining with his character. I think it just kind of better allows, you know, the player to almost imprint themselves onto the Chief. But that's for Halo 1. That's probably tied with Halo 3 for me as my favorite ending. But now we're on to Halo 2 with the Great Journey here. So we're actually gonna let Master Chief catch some Z's and switch over to the Arbiter.
What is that place? Where the counselors were meant to watch the consecration of the Icon. The start of the Great Journey.
There is still time to stop the key from turning.
I must get inside. Then mount up, Arbiter. I know a way to break those doors.
So weirdly enough, before this was in anniversary graphics, I don't know why, but I always figured this would be some sort of like snowy environment. So it's just kind of interesting to see how they redid it in the anniversary. But it's also the first Halo game where we get to pilot the Wraith, and unfortunately, if I remember correctly, I think it's the only Halo game that has the Spectre, which is kind of essentially the Covenant's take on the Warthog. I know with Halo 3, the Prowler kind of filled that role, which worked. They were both very similar. I personally prefer the Prowler a little bit more, though, because I thought it was a little bit more unique with having the driver sit in the back and then having the gunner up front. But regardless, you still had two different passenger slots, one on the left and one on the right. But I think with, you know, us being able to play through the Arbiter, it was an interesting way to kind of incorporate some stuff that players really enjoyed from, you know, originally Halo 1 and stuff that you would get to see with the UNSC, like the Warthog, and have the Covenant version of it, so you could still keep some of those same moments. Weirdly enough, as big of a fan favorite as the Arbiter is, I do remember that when Halo 2 first kind of came out, a lot of people weren't really thrilled about the Arbiter. And I will say, I do think out of Halo 2, the weaker missions were definitely the Arbiters. Although I would say Uprising and this one here, they're both really good. But it just kind of felt like those first four, not that they were like terrible or unplayable, but there was just something, I think the levels featuring the Master Chief were just so much better. But I am glad to see, though, that the kind of view of the Arbiter has shifted to something a lot more positive. So, interestingly enough, back when this game came out, I would actually play Halo 2 a lot on co-op with my sister, and she had nicknamed the hunter on the left Big. She was very adamant that I had to name the other one. So we had Big and Larry, and our goal was to always try and keep them alive and prevent them from taking any sort of damage. But it definitely was a cool way to kind of go out with the last campaign mission on here, is having you team up with hunters, because I mean, for the longest time they were really seen as just walking tanks for the Covenant. So to have them on your side was really cool. See if we can hopefully get rid of that turret that's over here. We did not. With that. I will say, though, this is also my least favorite iteration of the brutes. It just kind of felt more like bullet sponges more than anything. Definitely a big improvement with Halo 3, but I kind of feel that that's really more so because they took over the Elite's position, because at this point, you know, it's a very rocky relationship, but we are partnered with the Elites. The drones, though, I felt like their introduction was done pretty well. That is also one of the other nice things, too, about playing as the Arbiter, is you can just kind of squeeze right past little encounters like that if you don't really want to deal with it. The Elite Counselors, just that headpiece is so sick. It was always kind of something that I wish that they would have released at some point as like a customization piece. I know we've got some stuff that's been relatively close, but well, didn't think that was gonna happen. That's alright. Let's just see if we can still trigger the cutscene. There we go. There should be a Banshee that will just fly right down there for us.
Listen, you don't like me and I sure as hell don't like you. But if we don't do something, Mr. Mohawk's gonna activate this ring. And we're all gonna die.
Tartarus has locked himself inside the control room.
Well, I just happen to have a key. Come on, grab a Banshee and give me some cover. Gonna know what's coming.
got a nice little Halo 2 Banshee here. There's something about the design of the Banshee and kind of this era of Halo that I enjoy it so much more than what we've gotten out of, gosh, I would say anything like Reach and onwards. Just always really enjoyed this almost like very slender skeletal design, and I know it technically changed over with Reach, and just whoever had the idea to change it, ah man, must have just poured stupid in the cereal that morning or something. I'm trying to remember, I think. Now you could also still use the fuel rod gun at the same time in Halo 3. But after Halo 3, you would actually have to switch between the two. You couldn't fire both plasma and the bomb at the same time. He just does not want to die. This was also the first Halo game to feature like vehicle damage. It was there very minorly in Halo 1, and that was really only with the Covenant vehicles. It was more or less like once they would get to 0 health, they would then blow up, but other than that, there was no sort of damage. But I always kind of enjoyed it just because it was a good kind of visual tell on how much damage a Banshee or, you know, whatever vehicle it was had taken. Those gunners just do not want to die today. Every so often there was a chance that there would be a Banshee with heretic markings in its spawn. Can't remember if it was back there or if it was up here. And again, just massive credit to the team that remastered this because they did such a beautiful job with it. So much better than Halo 1 Anniversary. I actually enjoy playing Halo 2 more in the updated graphics than what I do the original. But I mean, you just look at some of the changes that have occurred and it's just so beautiful. Now also, you could, in theory, fly the Banshee up through that little section there and take it into the boss fight that's coming up with Tartarus. And this was actually the third boss fight that was in Halo 2. First you had the Heretic Leader, and then the Prophet of Regret. And then you ended with Tartarus. We will grab the shotgun because Tartarus is going to have a gravity hammer, so this will allow us just to get a little more damage on him from range.
Come, human. It is easy. Take the icon in your hands and do as you are told.
Please use caution. This reclaimer is delicate.
One more word, Oracle, and I'll rip your eye from its socket. Which is nothing compared to what I'll do to you.
Tartarus, stop.
Impossible.
Put down the icon.
Put it down and disobey the hierarchs.
There are things about Halo even the hierarchs do not understand.
Take care, Arbiter. What you say is heresy.
Is it? Oracle, what is Halo's purpose?
Collectively,
Not another word.
Please. Don't shake the light bulb. If you want to keep your brain inside your head, I tell those boys to chill. Go ahead. Do your thing.
The sacred rings, what are they?
Johnson did just have so many phenomenal one-liners.
potential flood hosts, thereby rendering the parasite harmless.
And those who made the rings? What happened to the Forerunners?
I'd actually love to see us get a spin-off game, kind of focusing on Johnson.
The rings. They and all additional sentient life in 3 radii of the galactic center died as planned. Would you like to see the relevant data?
Tartarus, the prophets have betrayed us.
No, Arbiter. The great journey has begun, and the brutes, not the elite, shall be the prophet's escort.
Something kind of interesting, if you do shoot Tartarus with a shotgun, you can actually see blood come out of him, but it doesn't do any damage. Whenever I was a lot younger, like back when the game first came out, I always thought that that was like some little secret way to kill him quicker without having to worry about Johnson doing his whole sniper take.
How do I stop it? Quit stalling. That's it? Johnson, I'm on it.
Hang tight, ma'am, until that brute is dead.
You go, you don't have to hang tight that long. Give that boy the nuts for what he did to us earlier. I think it's even cool how they have just High Charity hanging out in that shot there.
What's that?
A beacon.
What's it doing?
Communicating at super.
It was also possible in the original graphics that like some of the elites that were still present during that final battle, if they were alive, they would just be chilling out in the back.
Entire system will move to standby status. All remaining platforms are now ready for remote activation.
Remote activation? From here?
Don't be ridiculous.
On occasion, it was always kind of funny because you might get one that would
Where would someone go to activate
kind of
the other ring?
spam Tartarus's body with like a few shots.
And where, Oracle, is that?
We've got a new contact. Unknown classification. It isn't one of ours. Take it out.
This is Spartan 117.
Anyone hear me? Over.
Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
I mean, that's just a line that hyped up like an entire generation. Like when Chief drops that and then it cuts to black. I mean, at first, like, I was a little disappointed because I was so ready to finish the fight, but damn, that line just goes so hard and had myself and so many other people hyped up for Halo 3. Plus, the whole marketing campaign leading up for Halo 3 was phenomenal.
Silence fills the empty grave now that I am gone. But my mind is not at rest, for questions linger on. I will ask, and you will answer.
All right. Shoot.
So those last cutscenes always, yeah. I remember the build up to Halo 3, just the hype behind it being so unreal. And deservedly too. Like they did such a phenomenal job with the original trilogy. It's kind of a weird little thing there, but now we're going to close out the trilogy with the Mission Halo. Very fitting.
We are aboard. Humans and elites. Will you not come with us, brother? No. This is our fight. And I will see it finished.
Such an iconic duo.
Johnson,
Chief and
do you have
old
the
Arby.
frigate?
Yes, ma'am. I'll land her as close to the control room as I can.
Safe is better than close, Sergeant Major.
Roger that. And ma'am, it's good to have you back.
One thing I did always notice, though, it just seems like the Chief is involved in an absurdly large number of Pelican crashes. Like throughout the trilogy.
Halo. It's so new, unfinished. I'm not exactly sure what will happen when we fire it.
We'll head for the portal. And we'll all go home.
And then back in there was one of the, I guess it actually would have been the final terminal you could get. And there was also a nice little Easter egg. Now, unfortunately, I think you need 2 players for it. But I want to say it was like a holographic image of Jason Jones kind of dancing around in his boxers that was hidden back there.
Did you defeated.
Flood dispersal pods. Control room's at the top of that tower, Chief. Go!
It was really cool, I think, for them to kind of bring us back to a location that almost felt very reminiscent of Assault on the Control Room.
Stop that.
And one of the very few missions here that the flamethrower is actually usable. I want to say you can get it on Floodgate, Cortana, and then this, so I guess that's what, at least the third. I always loved how it was very useful for the pure forms.
Meet you at the top of that tower.
So unfortunately, it struggled a little bit more with the combat forms, which I guess is a fair trade-off. It does just pretty quickly evaporate pure form, so I guess you wouldn't want it to be too overpowered where everything just instantly melts. This is by far, though, I'd have to say, my favorite iteration of the Flood to fight against. Because they could definitely be challenging, but I think just the idea that, and I know it technically started with Halo 2, but I really enjoyed the fact that a lot of weapons were really kind of viable. I guess that one just really offended Johnson. Interestingly enough, this is the only other mission outside of the Covenant that you can use the Spartan laser. Then, of course, if you were doing this for the Vidmaster achievement, so if you had 4 players on Legendary, after this little section up here, you could swing down there, and there would be 4 ghosts there. Which, originally, getting that and a couple other Vidmasters, that was the only way to unlock the recon armor.
Yeah, I hear you.
Was that the Monitor? You didn't tell me he was here. Well, we are finally doing what he wanted.
I always found the sentry turrets to be just stupid. I think they were an interesting concept, but just... I'm just honestly trying to think, like, if I even remember one of them getting a kill. Because I feel like it would be so rare that if one of them did, like, it should stick out. Granted, that's my fault that one won't get a chance to.
Fleets of thousands.
Say too, I think this is one of the few parts that we actually encounter a rocket flood. Speaking of rockets, we have them. Might as well use them.
Open up! Coast is clear.
Now there was a little glitch that you could do right here where essentially what would happen is if you killed Johnson a couple times, eventually he would drop a Spartan laser that would have unlimited ammo. And if you actually left it sitting out there, like I'm going to do with that battle rifle and rocket launcher, once you would complete this little section inside the control room, you could run back out, pick that up, and you would have a Spartan laser with infinite ammo.
Do I take life or give it? Who is victim and who is foe?
These little moments, I'm not going to lie, they're kind of the only parts of Halo 3 that I'm just not crazy big on.
Yank me, Chief.
I'm not gonna lose her, too.
And I do like with Johnson's character model, you can tell that he got roughed up a bit during an earlier mission, just with like the kind of swollen black eye.
The installation is almost complete.
Terrific.
Yes, isn't it? I have begun my simulations. No promises, but initial results indicate this facility should be ready to fire in just a few more days.
We don't have a few more days.
But a premature firing will destroy the Ark.
Deal with it.
Will destroy this installation. Unacceptable! Unacceptable! Absolutely unacceptable! Protocol dictates action! I see now that helping you was wrong! You are the child of my makers, inheritor of all they left behind. You are Forerunner. But this ring is mine.
I do think it'd be interesting to see like how the series would have progressed had they stuck with that initial concept of humanity being Forerunners.
I take no pleasure in doing what must be done. You do not deserve this ring. I have yet to say it belongs to me.
Not for long. Kick his ass.
Stop now before what?
I will say, unfortunately, I don't think Bungie was ever really the best at boss fights in the Halo series. But I am kind of glad, though, that we were the ones that were able to dispatch old Spark there instead of it just being a cut scene or, you know, kind of like modern Halo where it just happens off screen in like a random book or something like that.
I'm getting you out of here.
No, you're not. No, don't let her go. Don't ever let her go. Send me out with a bang.
I think that was honestly one of the things that I really loved about Halo 3 was even though humanity had partnered up with the elites,
I'm so sorry.
it wasn't just, you know, a walk on easy street. Like, not only do you have Miranda Keyes dying, but you also have Johnson, somebody who's survived so much, and the fact that they were still willing to kill him off right on the last level. Also, just another little tidbit to point out. So originally with the Halo series, so a lot of people assume Spark had gone rampant. Rampancy originally in Halo was closer to one of their other games, Marathon, where it wasn't essentially just AI going nuts, like Skynet or something. It was actually almost kind of like a form of AI evolution. Geez, we just missed every shot on those stupid little... There we go. But that was just another kind of retcon, and as you even heard there from Spark, flat out saying that, you know, hey, humanity, you guys are Forerunner.
Of course.
But yeah, Rampancy was also something that was a retcon from 343.
Find the doorway in the cliffs, Chief. The dawn is on the other side.
I do like, though, how if you like kind of feather your shots with the assault rifle, you can wipe out a fair bit of the infection forms. Especially too because they really up the amount of infection forms that will pop out from the carriers.
There, Johnson's Warthog.
So this here was a section that you could do
Come on, Spartan, go, go,
with
go!
either a ghost, the Warthog, or there is also a mongoose that will spawn down here on our left, but I'm going to keep it as Bungie intended and stay in the hog. But the mongoose would be down and off to our left. Again, just the music, it hits so well right here because you have that nice little build up on the drums. And then some of those vocals coming in. It just has a nice little build up that kind of once the main little section like right here hits, it feels like such a payoff. Again, I think it works so well with not just audibly what you're hearing, but also what you're experiencing on screen. I will say from like a design perspective, I do enjoy this Warthog run a little bit more than the one that we got out of Halo 1. Just because with the kind of geometry that you would get from like the Pillar of Autumn, if that was accurate. It's just kind of goofy, but at least with this, it makes sense. But I always go back and forth between, I would say that from a layout perspective, I enjoyed this one more, but there's still just something so special about the one in Halo 1. Just because it was really a unique way to end a first-person shooter. I know I said that earlier, but I felt like it was such a unique way to end, you know, shooter game by having a driving section. And even though I still think that one is overall, I prefer to play that one. I think the way that this one here just kind of wraps up the series as a whole it's just so good. Like I think it's just a really kind of cool callback to Halo 1 as a way to not just, you know, because that one wrapped up, or the original run on the Maw, so well received for how it wrapped up the first game, to kind of do a little callback in the final mission of the trilogy. I thought that was really cool. And so for me, it just always kind of teeters back and forth into like, what do I want more? Something that ends a game well, or something that ends a trilogy more? I mean, the payoffs are just extremely rewarding for both. We were puckering a little bit there. I was worried that carrier form was gonna explode and send us off the ledge. Thankfully that didn't happen. So just with like the environment kind of crumbling beneath us. Really does do a good job of just giving you that final like epic feel.
Firing sequence initiated.
Then off to our right there, there's actually a little grunt that's cowering in the corner that'll say kind of some funny things. Which again is actually another throwback to the Maw, because that one little section in that where Cortana says coming up there's like a gap in the trench. There's a certain spot where if you were to land your Warthog correctly, now that one I want to say was only on Legendary, but you could hop out and there would be this grunt that would kind of start just saying some off-the-wall things about like the food nipple and all that.
Hang on. Chief!
Such a great scene. I mean, the man spent like the first, well, all but this mission trying to get a hold of Cortana.
We'll make it.
It's been an honor serving with you, John.
I mean, Halo 3 was just a phenomenal game. Still is. But that's going to be it there. So I know in this playlist it technically includes Halo 4, but we're not going to worry about that. Maybe we'll do the next little trilogy there and missions, but we'll just kind of use this to go out. But as always, thank you all for watching. Feel free to let me know what your favorite mission is or your favorite ending mission down in the comments, and we will catch you next time.